In the grand tapestry of life, each interaction is a thread contributing to the vibrant or somber hues of our daily experience. This video is your guide to understanding how to deal with negative people, unraveling the art of how to deal with toxic people, and embracing the lessons in Stoicism that offer resilience in the face of adversity. You might be here because you're seeking to transform these dark threads cast by toxic individuals whose negativity threatens to unravel your inner peace into opportunities for personal growth and enlightenment. In this masterpiece of existence, some threads are golden and uplifting, weaving beauty into the fabric of our lives. Yet, others are dark and heavy, challenging the fortitude of our emotional well-being. The ancient Stoics, wise architects of their own minds, navigated this complex landscape with an artful resilience. They understood the importance of choosing which energies to embrace and which to gently let go, turning life's adversities into lessons in strength and wisdom. This guide explores the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and offers 11 smart ways to deal with toxic people, transforming challenges into opportunities. By mastering these strategies, you can create a life tapestry woven with threads of serenity and empowerment, turning every encounter into a stepping stone towards your higher self. If you find value in this content, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement fuels our passion and helps us continue to deliver insightful content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on the enriching journey we are on together. With your support, we can spread wisdom and inspiration to even more people. Thank you for being a part of our community. 1. Setting boundaries. The art of defining your garden. Imagine stepping into a world where every interaction you have is like a brushstroke on the canvas of your day. Some strokes are vibrant and uplifting, enhancing the beauty of your existence, while others are dark, heavy, and inconsistent, left by toxic people in your life. These interactions don't just leave a mark, they alter the entire masterpiece of your day, your mood, and even your self-perception. The Stoics were masters of their own minds, not by avoiding adversity, by fortifying their inner walls. They knew that not every opinion, critique, or negative energy deserved their attention. As Seneca wisely noted, associate with people who are likely to improve you. This principle is at the heart of setting boundaries. It's not about building an impenetrable wall, but about choosing which gates to open and when. This selective openness doesn't make you less of a person. It makes you a curator of your own peace. Picture your energy as a limited, precious resource, like water in a desert. Every interaction you partake in is like giving a drop of that water away. Now, would you rather give it to someone who plants seeds in your desert, making it bloom, or to someone who lets it evaporate under the scornful sun? Setting boundaries is about investing your energy wisely, not with arrogance or disdain, but with the calm resolve of a Stoic who knows his worth and the value of his time. It's about calmly communicating, "This is where I draw the line," because your peace is not up for negotiation. So let's move forward with this mindset, viewing each day as an opportunity to paint your masterpiece, to invest your energy where it grows wonders. Respecting yourself enough to set boundaries is not an act of aggression. It's an act of self-respect and wisdom. Start today, not by cutting people out, but by delineating where your garden ends and the wild begins. Watch how the landscape of your life transforms. If you find this content meaningful, please leave a comment with positive energy to let us know you're here with us. Your support and positive vibes inspire us to keep creating and sharing content, uplifts and empowers. Thank you for being a vital part of our journey. 2. Energy intelligence. Navigating the storm. Ever find yourself sharing space with someone whose energy feels like a thunderstorm, turning your sunny day upside down? Navigating the choppy waters of interactions with toxic people can test the calmest of minds. But let's turn the lens inward and explore the concept of energy intelligence as our compass. Think of your energy as a protective barrier, much like an ancient city wall, something that preserves your peace and keeps out unwelcome negativity. Now consider for a moment the power of choice in these situations. Just as you decide what fuel to put in your car, determining its performance and longevity, you hold the power to select how you react and engage with energy-draining individuals. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, reminds us it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it matters. Responding with patience and understanding, or choosing not to engage at all, can be your super fuel, optimizing your emotional well-being and keeping you on a steady course. This isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about arming yourself with wisdom and making choices that align with your peace. Harnessing this intelligence goes beyond mere self-control. It's about creating a space around you that is so grounded that even the mightiest storm can't shake your foundation. Like a tree deeply rooted in the earth, you are immovable, not because the wind doesn't blow around you, but because you've mastered the art of bending and swaying with it without breaking. This strength and flexibility disarm toxic energy, leaving it no choice but to dissipate or move along. Now I invite you to reflect on how you've been managing your energy in the face of adversity. Think about those moments when you felt overwhelmed by someone else's negativity. How did you respond? Did you let their storm cloud your sky, or did you shine even brighter, guiding both of you back to calm? This journey isn't about becoming unaffected. It's about recognizing that within you lies a reservoir of strength and wisdom, ready to face any challenge that comes your way. Pause, breathe, and remind yourself of the power you hold. Moving forward, how will you channel this energy intelligence to not just protect your peace, but also to light the way for others? Remember, the real test of your inner strength isn't how you avoid the storm, but how you dance in the rain. Three, identifying and understanding the toxic threat. Take a moment to picture yourself serving as a guard at the entrance to your very own personal citadel. Your inner tranquility, physical health, and emotional safety are all represented by this fortress. Without a doubt, awareness is the first line of defense in the process of protecting this stronghold. In the same way that a watchful guardian must be able to notice potential dangers, you need to be able to recognize the indicators that a poisonous individual is approaching you. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was a proponent of reason and self-control, tells us that it is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them. This wisdom teaches us that it's not the case that the negative attitudes and manipulative acts of others have the ability to exert force over you. Your emotional reaction to these activities and how you perceive them are the factors that determine the effect that they have on your sense of inner peace at any given moment. Cultivate a Stoic gaze is to develop a calm and objective method of viewing situations. Key to success in recognizing and managing toxicity. Learning to recognize the characteristics of poisonous conduct is a necessary step in this process. Listed below are some important warning signs. Constant criticism. A toxic individual may find nothing but fault with you, your conduct, or the decisions you make consistently. Although this criticism may be indirect or overt, it will always leave you feeling deflated and uncertain about your abilities. Deceptive strategies. Toxic people frequently resort to deceptive tactics in order to achieve their goals. In an effort to exert control over your conduct, they may use flattery, guilt trips, or even threats. Thriving on negativity. A toxic person appears to thrive on negativity. They continuously whine and pull others down with their pessimism, focusing on the worst aspects of every problem. In addition to these general indications, there are also several types of toxic personalities that you should be aware of. The narcissist, constantly seeking approval and adoration. Their interactions are one-sided, leaving you emotionally exhausted. The gossip. They spread rumors, stir up trouble, and take pleasure in causing friction between people. The energy vampire. This individual drains your vitality, leaving you feeling cognitively and emotionally exhausted. Developing a mental map of the potential dangers that could befall your inner citadel can be accomplished by first gaining awareness of the many toxic personalities and the actions that they display. In the same way that a Roman Stoic philosopher like Seneca might devise a plan to combat an adversary on the battlefield, you may use your newly acquired awareness to anticipate the strategies employed by potentially harmful individuals and devise a strategy to safeguard your emotional well-being. Fortify your walls, building emotional resilience. Put yourself in the shoes of Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic emperor of Rome. In order to rule a wide empire, one needed to possess power, knowledge, and unyielding determination. When it comes to strengthening the walls of your own inner citadel, often known as your emotional well-being, these same attributes are vital. Undoubtedly, the boundaries that you have established are the foundation of this citadel. When dealing with toxic people, boundaries are the lines you create in the sand to demarcate your limits. They determine the kinds of conduct that you will and will not approve of. You should not permit poisonous people to intrude on your emotional territory, in the same way that a powerful monarch would not permit his boundaries to be violated. What comes into play here is the Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes the importance of reason and self-control. To take the initial step, you must first determine which activities deplete your energy or violate your sense of who you are. Is it the persistent pessimism shared by a friend, coworker engaging in manipulative behavior, the intrusive counsel of a family member? As Marcus Aurelius advises, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. With this in mind, you must open yourself to honest self-reflection about the things you will not tolerate. The next step, once you have determined these boundaries, is to communicate them in a clear and concise manner. Tap into your inner Marcus Aurelius and be firm while still being fair. To facilitate effective communication, consider the following strategy. Use I statements. Instead of making accusing words such as, "You are always so negative," try saying something like, "I feel drained when you constantly focus on the unpleasant things." Be specific. Avoid leaving any chance for misunderstanding. Rather than saying something vague like, "I need some space," you should say, "I can't talk right now, but I'd be happy to chat later this week." Keep your word, but be kind. There is a distinction between being assertive and being aggressive. It is important to convey your point with self-assurance while avoiding animosity. Establishing boundaries is not a one-time experience. When it comes to enforcing your boundaries, you need to be firm and consistent. Just like a Stoic ruler who is always on guard against barbarian invasion. A wall that is unstable is simple to dismantle. In the event that a toxic individual disregards your limits, you should remind them in a calm manner of the line that has been established. It may even be necessary for you to restrict your interaction with the person, completely withdraw from the situation. Keep in mind that establishing limits is not about punishing someone. Rather, it is about protecting yourself. Envy, vice that frequently serves as a source of poisonous talk, was vigorously avoided by the Stoics. Through the establishment of boundaries, you are not engaging in selfish behavior. Rather, you are merely safeguarding your emotional well-being and establishing the space necessary for you to build inner peace. Within the context of your Stoic path toward a life of peace, a strong citadel that is characterized by boundaries that are clearly defined and well defended is an essential component. 5. Become uninteresting to the emotional barbarian. Consider a ferocious emotional barbarian who is driven by pessimism and is looking for a dramatic conflict. There are certain poisonous individuals who act in this manner. They rely on attention, thriving on your emotional response, in the hopes of eliciting a glimmer of fury or hurt that will fuel their fire. They constantly poke with insults, seeking to disrupt your inner harmony, The Stoic ideals of emotional regulation and indifference to external stimuli serve as the inspiration for the gray rock method, which comes into its own as a strong instrument in this context. Paul Friedman, a therapist, created this technique as a strategy that involves being emotionally less receptive. It is not about fully shutting down. Rather, it is about providing the emotional equivalent of a smooth gray rock. A surface that is neutral and unyielding, offering no handholds for negativity to cling to. To further dissect this approach, let us draw upon the sage advice of Seneca, who tells us that true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This is a reminder that we should starve ourselves of the need for attention. People who are toxic often seek attention, whether it be positive or negative. With the gray rock method, you prevent them from experiencing the emotional response they are looking for. In the midst of the storm they attempt to generate, you become uninteresting, just like a dull rock. Applying the gray rock method, neutral responses react to negative statements with neutral and true statements on purpose. It is important to refrain from becoming involved in emotional disputes or justifications. If a toxic friend insults your work, you can deflect their assault by saying, "That's interesting," without giving them more fuel to feed their negativity. Avoid emotional engagement. Toxic people frequently attempt to control your emotions. Avoid getting sucked into their emotional vortex. They may resort to sarcasm, guilt trips, or even hostility. In such situations, the most important thing is to disengage. Maintain your composure and respond factually, refusing to become involved in their drama. It is important to keep in mind that Seneca teaches that the path to genuine happiness is to not amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears. You should not give toxic individuals the emotional power they seek. The gray rock method is a potent instrument, but it is not a substitute for a miracle cure. Some toxic personalities may initially escalate their conduct, putting your emotional rock to the test. Keep your cool, be consistent, and remember that you are not to blame for their negativity. By applying this method, influenced by Stoicism, you can turn yourself from a passive victim of emotional theatrics into an unmoved spectator, defending your inner calm and emotional well-being. The broken record technique, a shield against manipulation. Imagine being subjected to a never-ending onslaught of manipulation. A toxic individual chipping away at your boundaries through deceptive arguments and emotional ploys. Being subjected to such a persistent onslaught can be both emotionally tiring and unpleasant. However, the Stoic principles of unshakable reason and perseverance serve as the inspiration for the broken record technique, which emerges as a potent defense. This technique entails patiently repeating a clear declaration about your position, similar to how a broken record skips on the same unshakable message. This method, which appears to be quite straightforward, has the potential to be remarkably powerful in repelling attempts to derail you and maintaining a firm focus on your requirement. Epictetus, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, provides wisdom in this context. Phrase, "freedom is the only good," describes the power of perseverance. This freedom encompasses the ability to determine your own boundaries, as well as the liberty to say no without providing an explanation. This essential principle is exemplified by the broken record technique. You are able to display your steadfast resolution and prevent the manipulator from pulling you off course by reiterating your viewpoint in a calm and relentless manner. Defending against emotional attacks. Manipulators frequently deploy emotional strategies for the purpose of gaining the upper hand. They might try to manipulate you using flattery, guilt trips, or even fury in an effort to get you to do what they want. You can avoid these emotional assaults with the assistance of the broken record technique. By concentrating on the factual statement of your stance, you deflect their attempts to manipulate your emotions and keep the argument grounded in reason, disrupting their flow. The consistent repetition of your position can be very disconcerting to a manipulator. This is because repetition is considered a form of defense. Flow of their conversation is disrupted. They are thrown off balance, and the holes in their arguments are brought to light. Imagine a wave crashing on a rock that is very strong. The rock does not move at all, while the wave ultimately disappears. Contrary to popular belief, the broken record technique does not involve confrontation. Maintaining a firm focus on your stance while enforcing your boundaries in a calm manner is crucial. Keep in mind that Stoicism places a strong emphasis on reason and logic as the guiding principles for managing life's problems. Through the utilization of this method, you give yourself the ability to resist exploitation and safeguard your inner peace with unyielding determination. 7. Emotional stability. Dancing in the rain. Navigating life surrounded by toxic individuals can feel like trekking through a dense fog. You lose sight of where you're headed, and every step feels uncertain. But what if I told you there's a way to clear the fog? It starts from within, through the strength of emotional stability cultivated by Stoicism. Think about that one person who, no matter the chaos, never seems ruffled, like a mountain standing firm against the raging storm. This isn't about being indifferent or old. It's about recognizing that the only thing truly under our control is how we respond to the outside world. Stoicism teaches us that our power lies in our reaction, not in trying to control the uncontrollable. So when faced with toxicity, we channel our inner Stoic. Instead of engaging in the drama, we pause. It's like being in the eye of a hurricane. Everything's wild on the outside. Here it's calm. This space allows us to breathe, think, and then act from a place of rational calmness. It's about shifting focus from what's happening around us to how we're going to let it affect our inner peace. How do we do this? By practicing mindfulness. Yes, it's tossed around a lot these days, but here's the real kicker. It works. Mindfulness lets us detach and observe the chaos without getting sucked in. It's not about ignoring the toxicity, but acknowledging it without letting it dictate our peace. Realizing that, much like clouds in the sky, these moments will pass. So the next time you find yourself in the midst of negativity, remember that you're the architect of your peace. Build it strong and watch how it withstands the storm. 8. Self-awareness. Navigating through the smoke. Have you ever met someone who just seems to push all the wrong buttons? We often call these people toxic because they spread negativity like a cloud of smoke, making it hard to see clearly. But what if I told you there's a way to clear the air and navigate through this smoke without losing your way? It all starts with self-awareness. Just like knowing you're allergic to smoke makes you avoid it, understanding your responses to toxic people can empower you to keep your distance emotionally. It reminds me of a lesson from an old fencing master who taught his students that the real skill in fencing wasn't just in attacking, but in knowing precisely when to dodge. Each time a toxic person lashes out, picture yourself executing a perfect sidestep. You don't absorb the blow because you're aware of your own boundaries, and you respect them enough not to let anyone cross. This doesn't require anger or a counterattack, just a quiet, unshakable knowledge of who you are. Now, turning this understanding into a part of your daily life isn't as hard as you might think. Consider it like tying your shoes. In the beginning, it's something you have to focus on, but eventually, it becomes second nature. When dealing with negativity, take a step back and ask yourself, why does this bother me? Or, what can I learn from this? These questions aren't about making excuses for others, but about reinforcing your own mental fortitude. Take a moment to understand that this path will not be free of obstacles. Self-awareness and navigating through the smoke of others' negativity is no fairy tale. There will be days when it feels easier to just react, throw back what was thrown at you. But that's a fleeting victory, one that feels hollow because it betrays who you are. Each time you choose to respond rather than react, remember, you're not doing it because it's the easy choice, but because it's the right one for you. This is about building a fortress within yourself, not from arrogance, but from a place of strength and calm. It's not about ignoring the negativity, but acknowledging it without letting it define your action. So embrace the challenge. It sharpens you, makes you more resilient, and in the long run, undeniably stronger. 9. Focus on goals. Path of resilience. Picture yourself on a journey. Clear path stretching before you. Your goals are the destination, a new skill to master, a fitness milestone to reach, or a personal project to advance. You feel determined and focused, but then, unexpectedly, you encounter people or situations that dampen your spirit. These encounters can throw you off course, almost like a gust of wind redirecting a paper airplane. Consider the story of Jordan. He was all in on starting a small online business, but skepticism from friends and family came in waves. Some doubted him out loud, while others subtly recommended safer paths. It's a scenario many of us are familiar with. Instead of getting embroiled in fruitless debates or attempting to validate his ambitions, Jordan concentrated on refining his skills, broadening his knowledge, and building his business one step at a time. What can we learn from Jordan's journey? Steadfast belief in one's vision and a refusal to let negativity deter one's path. This leads us to how we deal with toxic people, a skill that requires finesse. The Stoics were onto something profound. They focused on what's within our control. And let's face it, altering others isn't in that category. However, managing our response to them is well within our grasp. It's about maintaining a mental barrier, ensuring negativity doesn't penetrate and cloud our judgment or spirits. Imagine a raincoat during a downpour. It doesn't stop the rain, but it keeps you dry. That's the kind of resilience we're after. So the next time you find yourself facing skepticism or negativity regarding your plans or ambitions, think of Jordan. Redirect your energy not into convincing detractors, but into fortifying your own path. Offer a smile, a nod, and carry on with your endeavors. You have goals to meet, and no amount of negativity deserves to occupy space in your thoughts without paying rent. Embrace Stoicism, focus on your actions, enjoy the process, and allow the descent to become a mere whisper in the background. It's your journey, and you're the sole navigator of your path. 10. Seeking support. The strength in unity. While we bump into someone who seems to challenge our peace of mind on every possible level. You know those people whose presence feels like a storm cloud on a sunny day. It's like you're stuck in quicksand. The harder you struggle to maintain your calm, the deeper you sink into frustration or anger. This is the complex dynamic we often find ourselves in when dealing with toxic individuals. It's a test of our patience, but more importantly, of our stoicism. But let's take a closer look at how reaching out for support in these situations doesn't show weakness, reveals wisdom. Much like how a single candle can break the darkness, sharing your struggles with someone who understands can light up paths you didn't see before. These are the people who add strength to our resolve, not by fighting our battles for us, but by reminding us of the power of our own mental fortitude. Imagine having a wise elder in your corner, offering advice drawn from a well of experience. That's the kind of invaluable support can help us navigate through toxicity with grace. To harness the Stoic strength within us, we need to recognize when external perspectives can help us. It's about understanding that while we can't control the actions of others, we can certainly control our reactions to them. Through the art of Stoicism, we learn to detach, to see the situation from a higher perspective. It's like zooming out on a map to find alternative routes we might have missed while being zoomed in. In seeking support, we allow ourselves the space to breathe, reflect, and choose our responses carefully, ensuring they align with our values and sense of peace. Now take a moment to think about your own encounters with challenging individuals. How have you navigated these waters? Have you tried to go it alone, relying solely on your strength? Or have you reached out for that supportive perspective that could change everything? Remember, the true mark of a Stoic isn't in silence or solitary suffering, but in knowing when and how to engage the wisdom around us to walk the path with greater ease and understanding. 11. Control of negative self-talk. Reclaiming your inner dialogue. Remember the first time you crossed paths with someone whose energy felt like a rain cloud on a parade? We've all been there, feeling the weight of someone else's negativity pulling us down. Surprisingly, the way we talk to ourselves when dealing with toxic people can either be our armor or our Achilles heel. Think of your mind like a garden, and every thought about yourself as a seed. Planting seeds of strength and resilience helps us stand tall, but sprinkle in doubts and fears, and those toxic weeds start to choke out all the good. Walking away isn't always an option, and here's where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism steps in. It's not about what happens to us, but about how we react to it. Stoicism enlightens us that true strength is found in our reactions. Thus, when navigating through the turbulence of someone else's negative influence, to carefully monitor the conversations you have with yourself. Instead of asking, "Why do I have to deal with this?" consider pondering, "How can I grow stronger from this encounter?" It may cultivate resilience, empathy, or the courage to uphold your boundaries. Altering your viewpoint is not merely playing with semantics, it's reclaiming your power. Another tool at your disposal is that little but powerful thing called detachment. Not cold, not uncaring, just wisely choosing where your energy goes. Imagine someone's negative comments as arrows. Now, if your self-worth is an impenetrable shield, those arrows can't touch you. This doesn't mean you won't feel the sting sometimes, but remember, those arrows can only wound you if you let them. So, take a moment to reflect. How often do you let external negativity influence your self-talk? Controlling this doesn't mean building a fortress around your heart. It's about knowing your worth and understanding that your reaction is your power, and sometimes simply deciding not to give your peace away. Stoicism isn't about an emotionless existence, but choosing which battles are worth your heartbeats. Remember, the only person you really have control over in this life is you. In conclusion, navigating how to deal with toxic people is not a simple path, but a transformative journey of self-discovery and growth. By embracing the lessons in Stoicism, you can turn these challenges into opportunities for empowerment and cultivate a life of peace and resilience. Let us embark on this journey with courage and love. Or as Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In the spirit of Stoicism awakened, embrace these 11 smart ways to deal with toxic people and become the architect of your own destiny. Craft a masterpiece of existence that radiates inner strength and wisdom.